Thomas the tank engine enjoys running his branch line. He and his coaches, Annie and Clarabel, are happy to have their own little part of the railway. However, their mood is often soured when they reach the junction where the big engines greet them. One day, Thomas arrived to find James waiting for him. "You're late!" "I am not," huffed Thomas. "I'm right on time." "Right on time, right on time," echoed Annie and Clarabel proudly. "If you're not early, you're late," replied James. "I always arrive early. That's the way of the main line. You just mosey along your little branch as slow as you please, no regard for our timetable. The others say the same." Thomas scowled. "Gordon doesn't even stop here. I can't waste any more time with you. I have places to be." The guard had hardly blown his whistle before James tore out of the station. Thomas was very cross. Silly big engines. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to see Thomas. "Percy is held up at the harbour," he said, "so I would like you to do his shunting at the big station." "Yes, sir," said Thomas, but he wasn't happy, for with the big station came the big engines. When Thomas arrived, he found James at the water tower. "Huh!" sniffed James. "About time you showed up. Hurry along and fetch my coaches." Thomas didn't say a thing and fussed away. In the yard, Thomas found the coaches for James's train. He was about to couple up to them when... "Oh, hello, Thomas. Lovely to see you again." Towards the back of the carriage shed sat Old Slow Coach. "Hello," said Thomas. "Where are you going today?" "Oh, nowhere," sighed Coach. "I'll probably just stay in the shed or be shunted to another siding to make room. I'd love to go out today, though." Suddenly, Thomas had a cheeky idea. James was sizzling impatiently at the platform. He was most surprised to see Thomas pushing Old Slow Coach behind him. "What's the meaning of this?" he demanded. "Sorry, James," smirked Thomas. "There was some, trouble with the other coaches. Old Slow Coach was the only one available. She's certainly excited to be working with you." James was very cross, but he knew there was nothing he could do. As the guard's whistle blew, he snorted out of the station with Coach in tow. "Have a nice trip," Thomas whistled cheekily. It wasn't a nice trip for James. No matter how fast he tried to go, Coach just bumbled along at her own pace. "It's been so long since I've been on the main line," she smiled. "Oh, look at those lovely daffodils. Whatever they planted those. Oh, and look, here comes kind Edward. Hello, dear." Edward whistled as he drew alongside. "Nothing wrong with little sightseeing excursion, is there?" he said slyly. "That is when I have a timetable to keep to. Whoa." James tried very hard, but the faster he wanted to go, the slower Coach became. When James finally fussed into the station, the passengers were furious. They complained bitterly to the station master. James was upset. Coach, on the other hand, took no notice. Thomas was in the yard preparing a goods train. "The way of the main line," he snickered. "I wonder just how James is getting on." "He's hardly getting on at all." Thomas jumped. "I asked you to shunt trains, not play tricks. You'll give the engines the trains they're scheduled to take, not ones of your choosing. Otherwise, you'll spend the rest of the day in your shed. Do I make myself clear?" Yes, sir," stammered Thomas, and Sir Topham Hatt walked sternly away. The next day, Thomas was back on his branch line with Annie and Clarabel. He hoped James wouldn't be at the junction, but he was. Well, he teased. "I see Sir Topham Hatt's tucked you away on your little branch line again. No wonder after the stunt you pulled yesterday. I've been ahead of schedule all day trying to make up for the delay you caused and—" James was cut off by the sound of Bertie Bus squealing into the station. "What do you think you're doing, James?" he panted crossly. "Leaving early and stranding your passengers at the station? I've got my own work to do. I can't spend all day cleaning up your mess." Before James could reply, Bertie raced away. The passengers stormed down the footbridge. They had some stern words for James. "Oh dear," chuckled Thomas, "that's not the way of the main line, is it? If you don't mind, James, I think I'll stick to my timetables. Never early, never late, but right on time." Thomas set off, leaving a rather shamefaced James behind.